Gentlemen, start your engines.
The hills of Northern California hold many fond memories for Winston Cup champion Jeff Gordon. He grew up as a youngster just around the corner in the tiny village of Vallejo. Last year, he grew up as a road course racer around the twisting corners of Sears Point Raceway. His win from the pole here proved to be the turning point in his quest for a third title. Following that victory, he reassumed and held the points lead all the way to the stage at the Waldorf in New York City. Once again today, the stage is set as Jeff Gordon has brought the same car he won with last year. Back to Sonoma, we get another start from the pole. But this year, the task is tall. 4 DNFs in the first 15 events have shuffled him all the way back to 5th in the points of 349 behind Dale Jarrett. So even a win today wouldn't get him back on top, but it would mark a turning point for his climb back in the right direction. Speaking of turning points and direction, those are just a few of the questions asked by rookie Tony Stewart.
But Mark Martin has 4 wins on a road course, and Jeff Gordon has 3. Martin has 21 top 10s, and Jeff Gordon has 9 top 10s when they compete on road courses. ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports in the National Association for Stock Car Auto Racing, welcome you live to Sears Point Raceway in California. Here's the opening grid for the race, presented by Everstart Walmart. Jeff Gordon on the pole, not a new track record, but close to it. St. Mart Kragen 350 from Sears Point Raceway. Pace car pulls off the racetrack. Here they come through turn number 12, the final one before they hit the start-finish line. And the green flag waves. We're underway. Made it up the hill successfully from the Pennzoil copter cam. Now we see them heading down the chute toward turn number 7. Jeff Gordon has the lead. Jerry Nadeau has taken second position away from Tony Stewart. 3 wide racing here at the end of the chute. That's one of the areas where we'll see most of the passing here this weekend, and also entering turn number 11. Gordon has the lead. Jerry Nadeau, who started second last year, starts third this year and had the crash, of course, on the first lap last year, but has so far successfully negotiated lap 1 here in 99.
There we see Rusty Wallace trying to get on the inside of Tony Stewart. Tony realizes he's there, does not go down. Rusty Wallace looks like will take over that third spot.
He said Gordon is getting incredible bite, able to pull away, but once the tires wear a little bit, Nadeau should come on. Where Nadeau is better is from turn 7 down through the S's all the way to turn 11. He pulls up on Gordon and pulls away from Wallace. So Nadeau said, I got to use my strength coming out of turn 7 to try to hang with Jeff Gordon. Bob?
Just about to go back to green. You see them heading toward turn number 11. The lights atop the pace car are out. By the way, a 2000 Monte Carlo to green.
Start the pickup speed. Green, 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 green.
An elevation change of 160 feet from the bottom there up to the top of the hill, about right here. So you're really headed uphill with the nose of the car pointed nearly straight up when you come through turns 1 and 2. And this time Nadeau is sticking right with Jeff Gordon, but again, we'll see if Gordon is able to pull away when they get down to turn number 11. They're headed right now to turn 7.
With him so far, boy, he rushed in hard going into there, picked up a lot of space.
But look at Rusty Wallace, who also closes in on Nadeau. Now they head up through the S's.
They're down through the S's.
Yeah.
So they're coming downhill here now.
Now there we see Jeff Gordon pulling away by about a car length. To turn 10, the right-hander. Now they'll charge down to turn 11. And we'll see if Nadeau has that same break, and look at him gain on Jeff Gordon going in the corner.
Now here's where the crew told him that Jeff was getting away.
You can see he opens up some distance as he came off that turn. Boy, getting traction off there is very, very important.
Well, here's Gordon, who continues to lead. He led 48 laps here last year en route to his victory, and he has led the first 9 laps of our race here in 1999. While they're battling for position, Jeff Gordon has lengthened out his lead to almost 2.5 seconds. There's the interval between second and third, and the leader, Jeff Gordon, with 12 laps completed at Sears Point Raceway. Mart Kragen 350K from Sears Point, 14 laps old, 100. Jimmy Spencer. Well, Gordon has the lead, but Mark Martin now begins to close in. On lap 13, Martin was 5.9 seconds behind Jeff, and on lap 17, closed it to 4.1 and also took over the second position.
Look at that. 3 of the 5 laps that Mark Martin ran were 74.7. All 3 of those laps faster than any lap that Jeff Gordon ran, and how consistent that Mark Martin is getting around this racetrack. Jerry Punch?
When Mark Martin took over second position, he was 4.1 seconds behind. Actually, Jeff Gordon is pulling away. That interval is now up to 4.3 seconds. So it's Gordon followed by Mark Martin, Jerry Nadeau, Rusty Wallace, and Joe Nemechek in the same Mart Kragen 350 from Sears Point.
What happened on that deal? What happened was Jeff Gordon was loafing. As soon as Mark Martin got in front, got in second spot,
see ya.
He picked up a mile per hour. Just boom, picked up a mile an hour.
So down there on Thursday morning, and things were gearing up. And I'm sure there are thousands and thousands of people down there right now as San Francisco. And not taking it easy any longer is Jeff Gordon. We talked during the break about how when Mark Martin got into second position and was 4.1 seconds behind, Jeff decided that it was time to get going.
Ray said, look, now Mark Martin's in second. He's been gaining on us. Said, I'll go. And since then, he has been the fastest car on the racetrack.
That barrier.
Here they come in the pits on the caution.
Yeah, they might be where they can make it on one more lap.
Yeah, probably can. We'll stop.
Jeff Gordon has the work completed on his car already, but Mark Martin has a faster stop and pulls out ahead of Jeff.
Mark Martin's tour at Pocono last week were just tremendous, and they continue today with another great pit stop.
Pace car off the track, pulling into an area called Gilligan's Island, which also houses some of the...
Get ready. 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 Go, 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 go. Green, 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 green.
Mark Martin led 32 laps at Pocono. He takes the lead here, and for every lap he leads in 1999, Valvoline donates $20 to the Big Brothers and Big Sisters. They're hoping to make $1 million this year. So far, they've raised $123,104. They also donate for a win and for a pole. Now we're going to see whether or not Jeff Gordon is as good now as he was earlier when he was able to pull away from Mark Martin.
Looked like he tried to take the lead up in turn 2. Didn't quite work. We'll see what can happen in turn 7. No.
Looks like he'll ride there a little bit and sort of size Mark up and see where he's best.
Oh, someone's put that Earnhardt.
Last car on the lead lap. Kevin LePage, the only car not on the lead lap of those still on the racetrack. Park, of course, is out, so is Gilliland, and as we indicated just a few moments ago, Robert Presley is off the track. Here's a Napa field summary, the manufacturer's battle. With Ford showing the way at the moment, and Ford showing the way on the racetrack. Once again, they come down the chute, headed for turn. All right, here's Gordon taking the lead from Mark in turn 11. on lap 31. Jerry, what's wrong with Jerry Nadeau?
Well, it's apparently stuck in gear. He tried to shift it, it wouldn't come out of gear, and it's hung, and he just basically...
Meanwhile, Gordon begins to pull away a little bit, so our question was answered. Was he as good after the caution and after the tire change as he was before? Looks like he is.
Tried to go up to fourth gear, and the car wouldn't come out of third. He was trying to shift it. That's when he got the wheel up and got off the course. He is obviously not able to run the full power just in third gear, but the crew's opted to lead him on the racetrack and hope for it.
These guys don't spin out very often.
Not just by themselves like that.
Okay.
Jeff Gordon has a 1.1 second lead on Mark Martin at the Mart Kragen 350. The Pennzoil Copter Cam having overhead shots as the leaders work their way through turn number 6, down through the chute, headed for turn 7.
And the pace has picked up. These cars are running 1 mile per hour faster than they ran that first segment before the pit stop. So obviously, all crews made some slight adjustments to the cars, made them just a little bit better.
Down to John Kernan.
Wally, and then get Wally back out on the racetrack. But right now they're all pretty upset because they thought they had a good shot at a good run.
Spencer hit a bump or something. All of a sudden his car just washed out right in the side of the Interstate Batteries Pontiac.
And it's put Labonte back to 21st spot.
I felt a need to throw that in there, Neil, because I had pointed out after he spun that there was some damage back there to that area. So it's going to work okay.
Yeah, I just talked to him. They sent Hubert back out. It was not a cut oil line. The oil line had just worked its way loose.
Hell, it could have been knocked loose by that, though.
Knocked loose or just vibrated loose.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
It's where the X Games are happening. The Extreme Sports Olympics that everyone is talking about, including Jeff Gordon. Okay. The reigning NASCAR Winston Cup. Well, I'm going to say there's a lot of activity going on in the Bay Area this weekend. Not only our NASCAR Winston Cup race here at Sonoma, but down in the city of San Francisco itself. I don't know, something like that. Okay. You'll find Piers 30 and 32, and that's where the X Games are happening. The Extreme Sports Olympics that everyone is talking about, including Jeff Gordon. The reigning NASCAR Winston Cup champ visited the X Games earlier this week, and he got to meet the Jeff Gordon of skateboard vert, Tony Hawk, one of his heroes. Jeff and wife Brooke moved to the top of the vert ramp to take a look. No doubt about it, Gordon is a big X Games fan.
I grew up around this area and kind of grew up as a skateboarder and bike rider and all that stuff and loved the X Games. And man, when I knew that they were going to be this close, I said, hey, we're there. We have got to go by and check this out. And I want to meet Tony Hawk, and I got to do that. So big thrill for me already this weekend. The half pipe, man. The half pipe is what it's all about. You know, I think I just messing around with skateboards enough to know how difficult it is to do what these guys do and how much talent and practice that it takes. And, you know, I mean, I envy them in a way and jealous in other ways. You know, I tell you, it's really awesome to see them do what they do. The X Games are awesome. I mean, these are kids and people that are doing things that normal human beings don't want to do. And I can relate that to auto racing a little bit, but, you know, it's just great that ESPN and everybody is getting behind this, and I love to see it happening because I'm a huge fan of it.
Jeff was still talking about his visit to the X Games and getting to meet Tony Hawk when he returned back north to the Sonoma Valley and Sears Point Raceway.
Awesome, man. I tell you, I have so much appreciation for those guys. I got to watch the guys, skateboarders on the half pipe. Got to meet Tony Hawk, and you know, if I could do something else, you know, everybody's always asking me if you could do anything else. I wish I could do that. I just don't have the talent to do that, and I'm getting over the hill for those guys.
Yeah, he's over the hill okay in what, 27? There's the Golden Gate Bridge, which connects our area here in the Napa and Sonoma Valleys to the city of San Francisco. Right now, Jeff Gordon is the leader of the race. He's got the slower car of Jerry Nadeau between himself and second place Mark Martin.
So Nadeau did not get that caution that he needed. Still out there running around in third gear, has gone a lap down. There's still 35 cars on the lead lap. David Green just went a lap down a few laps ago.
And Martin is closing the gap.
Yes, he is. He was just 9/10 of a second the last time around. And it looks like he's closed it to even less than that. Could have been the way he caught Nadeau in practice where he caught him.
Let's get an update on the Tom Hubert situation from John.
When it first happened, they might have, as quickly as they did it, then maybe they could have stayed on the lead lap.
Here's Jeff Gordon with a 1.2 second advantage over Mark Martin. Gordon is off the course. Now there's something you don't see very often.
That's up in turn 7 where we saw Dale Jarrett just a moment ago. He's back on the track, but how much damage has it done to the car?
Definitely lost the lead.
Well, that puts
Jeff Burton's right there with him.
So we know he lost at least 7 seconds because Jeff Burton was 7 seconds behind him just a moment ago when we talked about it.
So for the second time this afternoon, Mark Martin has the lead of this race, and now Burton will go to the inside at the end of this straightaway heading toward turn number 11 and take seconds from Jeff.
Gordon has to take it easy here for a lap just to see if there was a lot of damage done to the car. Didn't cut a tire. He wants to get into these corners pretty easy and get a feel of the car once again, get his rhythm going again if everything is okay.
Jeff is the hometown hero. He was born just a few miles up the road from Sears Point in Vallejo, California, moving to Indiana early on and growing up there. He calls Pittsboro, Indiana his home, but really he was born in Vallejo, California.
See a little damage to the front bumper of his car. Very slight though. Now here's where he had this problem.
14th. Here's what happened to Jeff Gordon.
Okay, comes in, looks like he makes a normal entrance into the turn, but I guess it maybe was a little bit hotter than it looked. And
just like DJ a while ago.
As a matter of fact, Mark Martin behind him smoked the right front tire. He was in hard enough, he smoked the right front tire. But look at him go through.
Yeah.
But he knows that he can't stand to get stuck. So that's why he was going there so rapidly. Jerry Punch.
Ordinarily, a driver would try to explain to his crew chief what happened, but Jeff Gordon has laryngitis and he can't talk. All he can do is squeak on the radio. All he said was, "Ray, I'm off. I'm off." Ray said, "Don't worry about it. Relax. We got plenty of laps, plenty of time. We'll catch him." Get back online. A long afternoon yet to come. Our coverage continues from Sears Point Raceway after this. Stay with us.
It's there on the right. And Gordon is caught back up now to Jeff Burton. As you indicated, Ned, he took it easy for a couple of laps, just checking out the car to see if everything was okay. And now he mounts the charge once again.
Pulled right back up on him. And meanwhile, while they're having that battle, Bobby Labonte's had some problems somewhere. He has dropped back several positions. He came by here, looked like he was running okay, but he went from a 14th position back to 16th again.
We understand he did get off course once again, so Bobby Labonte is having his problems as he tries to hang on to second position in the point standings. Jeff Burton has moved up 10 positions. John Andretti really is the one who has gained the most since the drop of the green flag. He has picked up 22 positions. And Jerry Nadeau, who's having transmission problems, got off course again.
And look at Tony Stewart. He has caught Jeff Gordon and Jeff Burton.
And he's done it rapidly, Benny. Just a couple of laps ago, he was about 2.5, 3 seconds behind him. But now he has caught them.
6 top 10 finishes in the last 7 races for Tony Stewart. Somebody questioned whether he is from Columbus, Indiana or Rushville, Indiana. They call him the Rushville Rocket. There's a very easy explanation, sort of like Jeff Gordon's situation. He was born in Rushville, Indiana, and grew up in Columbus. And when he comes back to Indiana, he lives in the house in which he grew up. He has bought it and remodeled it, putting extensive amounts of money into it, but really has a nice place in Columbus, Indiana. So that's the explanation of that.
No adjustments for Jeff Gordon, but he is exhausted. They may start looking for someone to get in the 24 car. We'll update that in a moment. Tony Stewart is down and away. The big concern here on pit road was Jeff Gordon, who's at laryngitis, said, I need ice, I need water, and I might need help.
First, and Jeff Gordon, he had the same problem there as Mark Martin goes to the corner as Jeff Gordon, the lead of the race, gets down in the dirt and gravel.
And that's how Jeff lost the lead. And there are, of course, safety innovations all over the track and in the cars, but there's also some on pit road. Right, Doc?
Indeed. A few weeks ago,
and we thought maybe Mark let him by so he could gain 5 bonus points as we watch Jeff Gordon now close in on Mark Martin, but that doesn't appear to be the case because Burton's pulling away.
He is. We thought he might be just late. Here's how it happened. Coming into turn 11, Mark slowed down. Jeff Burton went down the inside. Of course, the finish line's not too far from here, so we thought, well, maybe he's letting his teammate go by and get those 5 bonus points. But as you say, he's been pulling away since then.
Jeff Burton will be 32 years old on Tuesday. Meanwhile, Jerry Punch has an update on the 3rd place runner, Jeff Gordon.
Just prior to the last pit stop, we heard Jeff Gordon say that I need water, I need ice, I need some help in the car. Ray said, how's the car? He said, the car is fine, but I'm not. We told you Jeff Gordon had a sore throat and some laryngitis all day yesterday. Was having basically honey and lemon with tea, trying to get the throat better. He still can't talk. He told me prior to getting in the car, I don't feel that bad right now. I just feel a little bit weak and I can't talk. Well, suddenly the weakness became more and more severe, and now he's just trying to hang on. Ray asked him, do you want me to get someone to get in the car? And Jeff said no. Then Jeff's next question was, how many laps are left? That might be a clue. He's about to be worn out. Although he's given some guys all they could handle that in turn 11.
And he gives a bump to Mark Martin in turn number 11, but can't take the spot away from Mark. So Jeff remains in 3rd. Here's a Bud race recap. Jeff Burton, our current leader, had led the last 2 laps. We've had 4 lead changes, total of 3 full course cautions, and the average speed is at 76.5 miles an hour, and Jeff Burton is off the pace.
Jeff Gordon can make it on fuel. Can he make it on energy? He's down and away, and Gordon once again for the 3rd time will not beat Mark Martin out of the pits. Martin, a 4-tire change, a slight air pressure adjustment to tighten the car up, and he is down and away.
Gordon gets out 2nd. Cope is back on the racetrack. They got him down off the tires, and he's back out there. Let's check out a Cope pit summary. Mark Martin lost a position. He's 2nd to Jimmy Spencer. So did Jeff Gordon, Tony Stewart. Jeff Burton went from 5th to 23rd. Remember, he has a gear problem and will continue to have problems. Jeff Bodine, however, changed 2 tires and moved from 21st to 7th. They're changing 2 tires to give him good track position. And boy, they sure accomplished it on that particular set of pit stops. Nemechek remains the same, and Rudd gains several positions, or rather loses several positions.
So does Hamilton, Andretti, and Kenny Irwin goes all the way back to 15th. And Mark Martin didn't actually lose that spot, but Jimmy Spencer decided to stay out. And I guess Spencer couldn't.
They're coming to the green flag to resume the NASCAR Save Mart Kragen 350. The green flag going to be coming out here at the beginning of lap number 79.
Green, go to the right.
At the moment, Jimmy Spencer leading, but he gets loose at the line. Now there's a battle between Jeff Gordon and Mark Martin for 2nd position as they go up the hill. Who's going to win this little battle? It may go to Jeff Gordon because he has the inside line on that right-hander.
And it looks like it will. And here goes Jeff Gordon by the Tom Hubert car, closing on the back of Jimmy Spencer.
And Martin also trying to get the inside of Hubert. Now Hubert is not on the lead lap. He's 2 laps down in 37th position. Jimmy Spencer still has the lead, but Gordon is about to gobble him up. Here comes Tony Stewart, also Rusty Wallace and Joe Nemechek to the inside of Hubert. Tony Stewart in 4th position, and once again he's showing that he has taken to this series very well.
Now let's see if Jeff Gordon can outbreak Jimmy Spencer down in turn 11. Take that lead away. He's going to try. Spencer's trying to block. And Tony Stewart's trying to get a good line so he can go. Now turn on the inside, Tony. No, that didn't work too good. Let's toss that one off the book. Oh, here we go for the lead.
Yeah, here goes Gordon.
Yeah, he got that traction off the car. He tires are much further. And he's been getting good traction off of that corner all day long. It worked for him.
And Jeff Gordon retakes the lead on lap number 80. Here comes Mark Martin down to the inside of Spencer.
Wow, this is going to be a gutsy move.
There's the leader, Jeff Gordon. His advantage over Mark Martin is about 1 1/3 seconds. Again,
That's second week in a row.
right. Back at Sears Point, where Jeff Gordon is leading after 86 laps of 112 and the save mark. Dale Earnhardt right there also. The advantage that Jeff Gordon has over Mark Martin is about 1.6 seconds. And Jeff has a 3.5 second lead over third place Tony Stewart. That's the way it is with 91 of 100 laps completed at Sears Point Raceway in the Save Mart Kragen 350. Stewart third, followed by Rusty and Joe Nemechek. Okay. Oh, no.
Still running pretty good as he went by here. But he's in fourth gear when he goes by here. So Bobby Labonte's catching DJ.
What time we go off the air on?
Pit strategy that they worked out to get him up in the top 10. Oh, another.
Lights out on the pace car, so as they move through the S's, we are going back to green when they hit the line. Jerry Punch with a report on Jeff Gordon.
Well, we don't know how Jeff Gordon's going to be able to do, but he's not even answering the crew on the radio, but he's just trying to conserve energy. When Ray talks to him and says, just be patient, take your time, all Jeff does is cue the radio to let him know he hears him. He's conserving every bit of energy for these final few laps.
And there will be 14 to go when they get the green flag.
Is Tony Stewart going in pits?
Yes, he is, John.
Well, I was just told by one of Dale's man.
It is a tough break. There are still 30 cars on the lead lap.
Green, go to the right.
He has been up front all afternoon, and now as we get the green flag on the 99th lap, Stewart is in the pits with a flat tire, and he's going to fall into about 30th position. Well, up front, Gordon pulls away just a little bit from Mark Martin. And Jeff Gordon has picked up the 5 bonus points for leading the most laps here today.
Question is, can he last 14 more laps? Physically, can he last 14 more laps? He can stay on the racetrack.
Now the Pennzoil copter cam.
If he goes on to win this race, Jeff Gordon would be the only driver to win from the pole here at Sears Point.
And he's done it twice.
I mean, yeah, they have done it twice. Others have done it, but he would be the only one that's done it twice.
2 years in a row.
Lou Bernie Irvin did it one time, didn't he?
Yep. And Mark Martin did it in 1997. Here's the points as of now. Gordon would stay in 5th position. Rusty Wallace up 2 to 9th. And Jeremy Mayfield down 1. A lot of point changes in the second 10. And of course, next week at Daytona will mark the halfway point of the season.
Still a long way to go as far as that championship is concerned.
Yes, we're only about halfway. But right now, Mark Martin's thinking about one thing, pass that 24 car, and he's glued to the bumper of the DuPont Chevrolet.
He's going to keep the pressure on and certainly make Jeff draw every ounce of energy that he has.
But when we conclude with the race, and a battle up front as Mark Martin gets alongside Jeff Gordon.
Trying it on the outside. That didn't work, but boy, he made a great try.
Man, he is right on that back bumper of the DuPont Chevrolet, trying to put all the pressure he possibly can.
And of the top 6, we get speeds on the top 6 every lap. The slowest one among the top 6 that lap was Jeff Gordon.
And Bobby Labonte was the fastest.
The pressure is on Jeff Gordon.
You wonder about Tony Stewart. He's back on the track, of course, but he's in 27th position.
Boy, a tough break for the rookie. Good view of what's going on ahead of him.
And he's going to watch Mark Martin this time going down in turn 11. Is Mark going to try once again to outbrake Jeff Gordon? Jeff really buries it down in the corner. Mark can't do it this time. Oh, he's going to try to get on the inside as he come off the corner. Oh, not quite.
Jeff smoked the tires a little getting into the corner. That allowed Mark to close right in, but Martin cannot take advantage and cannot make the pass as Gordon has the lead with 10 laps to go.
Bobby Labonte has gotten by Ricky Rudd and taken over the 5th position.
Looks like Mark Martin really gets through 11 and off turn 11. So good. We saw it yesterday in happy hour. Mark Martin goes to first gear down in turn 11. That might be one reason he's able to leap off that corner so well.
How close those 3 are nearing the end of the race. You just have a feeling that something's going to happen here in the last 10 laps. And a call to Joe Nemechek, who has run an extremely consistent race today. He's in 4th behind this trio.
He has Bobby Labonte right on his back bumper. Bobby is definitely one of the fastest cars on the racetrack.
Oh, and Martin gets off course. Wow.
Just about lost control. There we see Bobby Labonte into the tires.
And colliding with Nemechek. Full course caution. They'll have to get the tires back into position in turn 11 for one thing, besides the fact that Nemechek spun, but he has gotten going again. Well, let's take a look at that again. First of all, Martin goes off course, but doesn't really lose anything because of it.
No, and then Bobby Labonte, the green car, watch him. He comes down through there and he has too much speed. He's either going to knock Joe Nemechek off the racetrack or either get into those tires. And he chose to get into the tires and still hits Nemechek a little bit.
And I would guess this is another break for Jeff Gordon, because the more laps he can run under caution and kind of relax and get his bearings, the better things are for him.
Well, he was certainly getting the pressure as we see Labonte go back out on the track. He was getting the pressure from Mark Martin. And
sure was.
Maybe this does give him a little bit of a breather.
Well, under caution, but as you can see, their lights are not flashing on the pace car, so it will be coming in, and we're going to resume the battle here as Jeff Gordon and Mark Martin and others clean off their tires and get set for the restart.
And there'll be 6 laps to go.
Yep, this will complete lap 106.
It get interesting. It was interesting before the caution.
Back and forth trying to clean all the debris off the tires, so when they go in that turn 1 and make that left-hand corner, the car will stick.
Go, go! Green, green.
Gordon got himself a good start.
Rudd now 4th, John Andretti 5th. Jarrett is up to 6th, and Marlin, Ward Burton, Dale Earnhardt, and Kenny Irwin complete the top. They are racing to the line, and Gordon, of course, will win the battle there. Down to Bill Weber.
with Ray Evernham. 2 easy questions. How's your car? How's your driver?
I think they're both hot and tired right about now. This hopefully is giving him a chance to catch up, catch his breath a little bit. They're pretty hot in there. Mark's car seems to be a little bit better than ours right now. Hopefully Jeff can hang on, but if not, just want to see him get a good, safe finish, and hopefully we'll go out of here with a decent finish.
Mark looks a little stronger in 7 and 11.
Yeah, Mark's outbreaking us a little bit. Like I said, our car's been pretty good all day, so hopefully it'll let Jeff catch his breath a little bit, and we can hold on. If not, just get a good, safe finish out of it, and we'll be happy.
I know Mary's watching on TV today.
Yeah, and I want to say hi to her and Loretta. My mom-in-law's in the hospital, and she's recovering, and I know they're watching, so I just want to say hey.
Okay, Ray Evernham hoping this respite will help his driver get a second consecutive win at Sears Point. To John Kernan.
Just about to get the green flag and complete this Save Mart Kragen 350K from Sears Point Raceway. They will come down and complete lap 109 and get the green flag. Jeff Gordon, Mark Martin, Rusty Wallace, John Andretti, and Dale Jarrett are the top 5. These last 3 laps should be something to watch.
Yep, I think you're right, Bob.
I think this break had to help Jeff Gordon because he was exhausted. We talked about it all day long. He isn't feeling that well. Has to help. And he also was able to get some water back there and a little bit of fluid. You know he feels a lot better than he did 30 minutes ago.
All the drivers were offered a drink of water during this red flag period, and of course most of them took advantage of it, including Jeff Gordon. So here we go now with the final 3 laps of the race. Pace car pulls off the racetrack. Gordon cleans the tires to make sure all the rolled up debris is off the tires and that the tires stick well as he approaches turn number 1. Here we go.
Got himself a good jump. Got about 3 car lengths out in front of Mark Martin. There for 6th place, there was a big bottleneck going up into the turn. A couple of cars got off in the dirt, but they're okay. If you watch Mark Martin try to move in.
Gordon maintains the lead as they come down toward the chute. Mark Martin less than a car length behind, then a couple of car lengths separating Mark from Rusty Wallace.
Apparently there was no problem with Rusty Wallace. He just got off course there. We speculated that maybe he might have had a problem with tire get out or something, but that's not the case because he's still running good.
Now, this is a spot that Mark Martin has been gaining. He's been out breaking Jeff Gordon going in turn 11. That's 10. We approach turn 11, coming out for 2 laps to go. Can Mark outbreak Jeff this time? No, not this time.
Andretti is going by Rusty Wallace, takes over the 3rd position, and Kyle Petty has moved all the way up to 6th. He's got about a number of cars since the green flag flew.
And there are 2 laps to go now as Gordon heads up the hill once again with Martin in hot pursuit. We want to remind you of a couple of things. First of all, the X Games at 9 o'clock Eastern time on the Deuce. And stay tuned. As soon as we get the checkered flag, we're going to be throwing you back to 3Com Park on the south side of San Francisco and John Miller for tonight's baseball game involving the Giants and the Dodgers.
Turn 7 where Jeff had a problem earlier today, got off the course. This time he gets through.
Martin has only won 1 race so far this year. That was at Rockingham. Sterling Marlin is off the racetrack. As once again, Gordon comes down through turn number 10 and comes to turn 11.
Coming down for the white flag, Mark. You've got 2 more chances at your best spot.
Looks like Jeff.
Oh, and Mark really
sideways.
He really tried. He got a little bit too deep. Got the back end out. Jeff Gordon will take the white flag.
1 more lap to go. Here's the white flag coming out for Jeff Gordon. There will be a couple of more opportunities that Mark will have to make the pass, but so far Gordon has been successful holding him off.
Right here, Mark's been getting through this corner. I thought maybe he might try to drive under. Could not, as Jeff gets to that corner well.
John Andretti has moved into 3rd position.
And I mentioned a moment ago that Kyle Petty moved to 6th. He's dropped back to about 8th now because Jimmy Spencer has moved up to 6th.
No driver has ever won 4 consecutive NASCAR Winston Cup races on a road course. If Jeff is able to take the checkered flag, he will be the first driver ever to do it. He's through turn 7. There was a good passing opportunity for Mark, and now really there's only one more, BP.
Turn 11, this is the S's. Mark is right there. He's on the back bumper, and he's driving his heart out. So is Jeff. The left-hander turn 9. They'll go back to the right in 10, and then down for 11. Downshifting on the brakes hard.
Martin is trying everything he can to pull even and pass Jeff Gordon. He's got one last shot. He looked like he might try from the outside. Now he goes to the inside, but no, the car is sideways on him once again. And here comes Jeff Gordon to take the checkered flag and win the St. Mart Kragen 350 at Sears Point. His 4th road course win, second here at Sears Point. And the 4th win of 1999. He also won the Daytona, Atlanta, and California. He's going to go to our McDonald's winner's circle. And later tonight, we will have the interview for you on RPM tonight. Jeff Gordon wins here at Sears Point. Now let's go to 3Com Park in South San Francisco for tonight's baseball game. Here is John Miller. See you, Ned.
All right, Ned.
Okay. Ned, news. I'm ready. Okay. Congratulations. That was a hard-fought victory on a hot day.
Really was, and heroic effort by Jeff Gordon and the guys that put this car together. And we always got to thank God first for giving us the opportunity to do this. But I'm going to tell you, I'm the luckiest guy in the world to be part of a team that's got heart like that. He was pretty sick from about halfway on, and like I said, I can't take a lot of credit on the road course. The driver and the guys that work on the car, the brakes, the gearing, Ed Guzzo, Brian Watts, all those guys. So, you know, I'm just very lucky to be part of this group.
He did apologize to you guys after the race, saying he almost lost that one for you.
Well, he's won plenty of them for us, and he didn't lose that one for us. So it's just a great feeling. I want to say hi to Rick and everybody home, and I'm going to let him thank our sponsors, but they're awful important to us.
That's 4 straight wins on a road course. It's never been done before in Winston Cup racing.
Didn't realize that. It's a good feeling. It was a hard-fought race, and Mark drove him clean. You know, Mark is a great driver too, and he probably could have punted us there a couple times, and he didn't. So, you know, I'd like to thank him. And again, it's just it's great to be part of this group, Bill.
How critical was it to start on the pole here? That's back-to-back wins from the pole.
It was probably a momentum thing, a good motivational thing. We needed some things to pick us up to show that we could win again. You know, when you don't win in a while, you feel like you're never going to win again. So the car's been good since we unloaded it, and it was very important to him, you know, kind of in front of the hometown crowd here to get a win, and it was great to sit on the pole, too.
Had you talked about the three straight second-place finishes, that you were close?
Not really. You know, we were happy with those. After you go through a few 37, 38 finishes, second place seems pretty good. So we just kept working at it, and we knew that we'd have a shot here today.
Thank you.
What's the deal here on that?
We may have to do a medical thing here first. Let's see how he is before we get to him. Would you get him some air, guys? Okay, we're ready when you are, guys. Can I go anytime? Yeah, he's just going to sit in the car. Let me just... Come on in, Rick. Well, Jeff Gordon has pulled into victory lane, and he will get a nice big cold drink and a big kiss from wife Brooke. And Jeff physically trying to endure. First of all, I got to congratulate you, Jeff, on an outstanding effort physically in the car today.
Thank you, Jerry. God was certainly on our side today. You wouldn't believe the things that happened to me out there today. You know, just the things you saw were only half of it. Right before that first pit stop, my seatbelts came undone. You know, I went off the track. I was missing gears. I mean, I made a lot of mistakes today, and a lot of it was because I just wasn't feeling good. I don't like to use that as an excuse, but I was just beat. You know, Mark Martin ran me really hard, and he's awesome. And I tell you, I really thought he had us there. But guys on this DuPont Chevrolet, they were awesome today. I want to thank Ray Evernham and all these Rainbow Warriors. Say hey to Rick at home. God's blessing him, and he's blessing this team right now, and we're very thankful.
You said earlier that you were tired, you needed some water, you needed some ice, and I guess the team was a little bit concerned. Before the race, you had laryngitis, but didn't seem to feel that bad, but I guess the energy went away pretty quickly.
Yeah, it started to kick in after we ran quite a few green flag laps, and, you know, it was more than laryngitis, I guess. I mean, I was real dehydrated and just real hot, and you know, just wasn't hitting my marks. I could tell I was just kind of getting worn out, and I wasn't as sharp as I was. I started making mistakes, and that's when Mark started catching us. And thank goodness the cautions came when they did, because they saved us.
The red flag had to help quite a bit. And then we had a bit of Watergate over there where some of the workers had a bottle or two of water, and the rest of you guys were having to wait and sort of wonder if you were going to get a swig.
Yeah, I guess Rusty was on the deal back there. I looked up my mirror and somebody's taking him some water, and I was wanting some water pretty bad. It was hot out there, let alone when you're just sitting still. And, you know, it was nice to finally get some water. I mean, you don't want to see a red or a caution anytime. I wanted to just see it go green or, you know, go right back to green, because I didn't want my tires to sit any longer than they had to. And, you know, again, great day. Just want to thank God, thank all of our sponsors, DuPont Automotive Finishers, Quaker State, GMAC, Advanced Auto Parts. We got a lot of sponsors. Chevrolet and Goodyear. It was a great day for us, and of course Pepsi.
Jeff, this was the turning point a year ago for you. You guys reassumed the point lead and never looked back all the way to the stage in the Waldorf in New York. You're not going to be in the points lead, but you're back headed in the right direction with the win today. Is this the momentum you needed for the second half?
Yeah, this is great momentum. You know, we've been knocking on the door the last 3 weeks, finishing second. I knew this was going to be a big motivator for us to come out here to Sears Point. When we sound the pole, I felt really good about that. And then this sore throat thing came along, and I knew it was going to be a tough day for us. I never dreamed we could win, but things worked out right for us. We got track position when we needed it. We were strong on new tires. Mark was a little bit better on old tires, but it's so hard to pass out there. And track was coming up, so it made it even tougher.
He is a big fan of the X Games. He said earlier in the week, I'm a little too old for the extreme sports, but he was an extreme contender today. Jeff Gordon in victory lane, the first one ever to win 4 road course races in a row.